What's up guys, here. Welcome to another visual novel. I got a game called Sounds of Her Love. It's for free to play, just came out today on Steam, so I'm gonna check it out. There's 3 endings and yeah, pretty much it's about 2 people moving to an international school in Tokyo. So I'm guessing this is Yuri Love because yeah, my name. So since this is a girl, Yuri, let's do this. Who should I name myself? Momo. No. Seika. Yeah, Seika. Alright, let's do this. Something is ringing. Why won't it stop? My hand limply reaches out toward the noise, but I can't seem to locate it. Must be around here somewhere. I sense something rigid at my fingertips. Suddenly, I hear a loud crash beside me. The ringing stops. Huh? I thought I was like you had to choose some choice. Forcing myself upright, an intense light greets my eyes. Beside me stands a hazy figure I can't make out. Do you mind not making so much noise in the morning? Your sister is still asleep. I don't know how the mother sounds like. As my eyes adjust to the light, I see my mother standing beside me. I look downwards and see my table lying on the floor, my alarm clock just next to it, broken into pieces. I'm not cleaning that up, just get ready for school and come downstairs. I made breakfast. My mother walks off. I don't think she's particularly happy. Well, I doubt many parents would be with their children creating such a ruckus. Still, it wasn't my fault. I was half asleep, for crying out loud. I pry myself away from the bed sheets and pick up the table and the broken alarm clock off the floor. I check what the clock once read and conclude it's almost 7 AM. Unfortunately, today is a Monday, so it's back to school for me. Although it's cliche, I'm not really looking forward to it. It's not like I dislike it, but you'd think after transferring here, things would have been a lot more lively. So far, nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Though I can't really expect life to be like that. This isn't a manga after all. Opening my drawers, I pull out my uniform. It's still as good as new. I haven't had much time to wear it in. I've only been here a week. For an international school, the uniform is quite generic. I was expecting something more prestigious. I guess this is still Japan after all. Okay. Even though I lived here all my life, my mother was dead set on sending me here. She's not a native, so she at least wanted me to connect with her side of the family. Despite her premise that getting in touch with my Anglican heritage was a good idea, the school isn't even English, it's Welsh. I'm pretty sure that's the country north of England. I don't think there's much difference anyway. After finishing doing up my blazer, I hear a shout from downstairs. Son, your breakfast will go cold at this rate. You may as well let me have yours if you're going to waste it. Letting out a sigh, I close the door to my room and head to join my parents. So it's not Yuri, okay. I read it wrong. I don't know, maybe it's Yuri. It's reaching the dining room. My mother and father greet me with warm smiles. Maybe not so much my mother. I still think she's pretty pissed. My father gives an empty chair a hearty stop, still smiling all the while. Sit down, son. Sit down, my son. We have a hefty breakfast your mother would approve of. Of course, I would. I made it after all. In front of me sits a traditional English breakfast. Eggs, toast, beans, sausages, and the like. I don't think I can eat all of this. The empty chair is pulled out from beside me. I guess my sister finally woke up. When it comes to the mornings, she's not very talkative or noticeable, to say the least. I'm sure she'll fire up later though. Yes, my beautiful family has gathered at last. My sister acknowledges my father with a quick glance and starts eating her breakfast in silence. Tell me, Seika, how are your studies? Was that hefty fee worth it? The school is private and teaches a foreign curriculum. so tuition fees are quite large. Luckily, my father can pay for it, and it's only for my final year. It's going okay. The initial buzz of it wore off after the third day. I guess it's like a normal school, not much different from the ones here in Japan. I did have an experience at a traditional Japanese high school, but due to our relocation to Tokyo, I had to transfer. If there was one noticeable comparison, it's the students. Most of them aren't natives, and a lot are more quite full of themselves. Even I'm only half Japanese. Really? That much for a normal school? What was the point of that fee then? You want your son to have the best education possible, right? And he's closer to my side of the family. Reasonable. Tell me this though, son. Have you been speaking to any girls at least? Are you really asking him that? Both my parents engage in a stare-off. Things like this happen all the time. For them, this is only a bit of a banter. Checking the clock on the wall, I realize I'm a bit behind schedule. I give my family a farewell and head towards the door. Okay, I don't know how to do it. Wait! That clock is... I hear my sister say something, just as I leave, though she doesn't chase after me to tell me. It was strange to hear her at this time of day, but I guess I can't fret about it now. I continue on a journey I'm only just getting used to. I'm guessing the clock was wrong, I don't know, it was just wrong. The street leading to the school is particularly empty. Only a couple of locals are walking by and the number of students is quite low. Checking my watch, I realized that I had left considerably early. I guess the clock at home was a bit slow. A faint noise distracts me from my wrist. Oh, it is voicing. Ahead of me is a female student, presumably from my school, picking up the contents of a bag off the floor. I guess she dropped it. I consider helping her, but by the time I move my feet towards her, she is already finished and continues onwards to school. She rubs the back of her head and her braids sway softly in the wind. Just as I pass where she was standing, I notice a small card on the floor. Instinctively, I pick it up. In my hands is a library card with what I assume to be her name on it. Sheridan. Come on, man, what kind of name is that? Considering this is a Welsh school, I guess that's the origin of her name. I look up and she is nowhere in sight. Oh crap. Quickly setting myself off, I run towards the entrance of the school. I just hope I can catch up to her. So it's a guy and a girl relationship, that's cool. It doesn't take me long to get her in my sight. I'll call out to her. Suridwen, you dropped this. Suridwen turns around flustered, and I approach her with a ragged breath. Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, it's English. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. She gives me a shy response as I hand her back the card.
How did you know my name?
Suridwen. I don't know how to say that. It doesn't look like she's very comfortable with talking to me. It's on the card.
Oh. It's pronounced Carrie, like a K.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Don't worry.
Carrie still looks rather uneasy. I guess some people aren't that fluent with others. Well, it's a good thing you got it back. We're both pretty early, so it would have taken a while for someone else to find it. By then, they probably would have given it into lost and found.
Thank you.
Carrie, okay, that's a nice name. Should name herself I don't know, something else. She thanks me again, and her eyes are averted slightly away from my direction.
This card is important to me.
Damn. Maybe put it in a safer place? You wouldn't risk losing it then. I know I have the right to tell her what to do with her stuff, but things like this are common sense.
I use it a lot. It's easier for me to reach it quickly.
I guess she's an avid book fan. She must be quite smart. That or she just likes books. I decided to continue the conversation. Okay, I guess everyone needs a hobby. What sort of books are you interested in? I just go with this first one. I'm gonna save it here in case, you know, you gotta save it. What sort of books are you interested in? Fiction or non-fiction?
I read a variety.
Oh, sure, she reads manga and all of that. Well, that was a short answer.
I want to study literature.
She looks at me as if she expects me to belittle her, though I completely deny her expectations. Sounds great. It's good to have something you're passionate about. Her lips move. I guess she can't stop herself from smiling. Moving my feet again, I set off towards the entrance of the school, turning around to face Carrie before I make any sufficient progress. It's still early, but we should still go to class. It's a bit cold after all.
You're right.
Cold.
I need to check what class I'm in.
She doesn't know what class she's in? School started a week ago. Don't tell me she has amnesia. Carrie shyly passes me and heads towards the school, and I follow suit, heading towards my class. I guess she was a pretty interesting person. He finally met a girl. That's why he can tell his father. Classes are well underway, and the class is filled with a widespread sense of lethargy. I don't know. It is a Monday after all, and lunch is just around the corner. Does anyone really want to learn about the structure of the inner mitochondrial membrane right before lunch? Oh my god, please don't. I can't say those words. I lean back in my chair and stare down at my notes, which are just a little more than scribbles on a sparse page. In the end, I can't really say I expected anything different when transferring here. After all, the basic principles of teaching are the same wherever you go, or wherever you are. There's no reason as to why this school would be any different. Though the extra language lessons are a pain in the ass. Just as I let out a small, but definitely noticeable yawn, the teacher glares sharply in my direction. Bored, are you, Seika? No, sir. Oh, that's a surprise. How about you answer the question at the bottom of page 3 then? I look at the closed book on my desk and realize what the teacher is referring to. I definitely haven't done a good job at pretending to work. Still, I oblige and turn to page 3, moving my eyes towards the bottom of the page. I find a question that's somewhat relevant to what I managed to hear during the lesson. What is the space between the two mitochondrial membranes called? Is that the matrix? No, that's the bit inside. Well, boy, do you have an answer? Intermembrane. I don't know, the middle one. Looking across to the opposite page, I spot a diagram of mitochondrion with a nicely labelled arrow showing me the answer. Intermembrane space, sir. The confidence in my voice, or more likely, the fact I got the answer right, seems to have left my teacher surprised. Well done, Seika. I guess you were paying attention after all. I certainly wasn't. The teacher continues on with the lesson, leaving me to lean back in my chair once again. This time, I'll try not to yawn. Soon enough, class ends and I trail behind a mass gathering to exit the room. The crowd slowly shifts. The class only has about 30 people in it anyway. I stagger behind the other students residing in the corridor and make my way to the cafeteria. Okay. Chatter radiates from the swaths of people in the cafeteria. I weave my way through those standing around, and people walk in the opposite direction. The line is strong, as always. Unlike most schools, the food here is actually quite good, so naturally it's in high demand. I join this queue of students left famished by the morning lessons. Time slows as the line slowly inches forward. All of this for a sandwich? I know, mate. They're lush, aren't they? Made with 100% Welsh beef. That's what they say anyway. I find it hard to believe they would import that stuff to Japan just for this one school. Eventually, I'm the one gazing at what's on offer at the counter. To be honest, that guy was right. The beef here sure is lush. It's quite a prestigious school. I buy the sandwich and stuff into my bag. This place is quite packed, so I doubt I'll find a place to sit down. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a table that's actually empty. Well, almost. I notice someone familiar eating by herself. It's that girl from earlier. Carrie, wasn't it? I wonder if I should approach her. I hardly know her, but I kind of want to sit down. It's cold outside. Approach her. You know what? I may as well approach her. She's alone after all. I've been in that situation plenty of times this past week. I know how it feels. One step at a time, I make my way over to the table. Her silky braids gently rest by her side, and unlike before, her braids only move due to her actions. As I draw closer, she takes notice of my presence and directs her head towards me. She hesitates to speak, but I plan on taking the initiative from the beginning. Hi Carrie, it's me, from earlier. I don't think I ever got a chance to introduce myself. I try my best to avoid sounding nervous. Walking up to a girl sitting by herself is pretty noticeable to everyone else in the hall. My name is Seika.
Hello. Thanks for earlier.
I don't think she's ever gonna say Seika because they don't know, you know what I mean? She's still pretty on edge. Perhaps I should just apologize to her and make a quick retreat. I'm sorry for walking up to you so suddenly.
Don't worry. I don't normally have.
But she's
with.
so beautiful. How can she not?
I'm glad.
Wait, I'm gonna configure this. It's kind of too loud. There we go. She abruptly stopped speaking after giving me a sign of gratitude. Her cheeks turn a rosy shade of red, and she directs her eyes away from me. I guess she's embarrassed. It did strike me as odd as to why she's alone. Aside from her lack of self-confidence, she seems like a fairly nice person.
I had an illness.
She goes straight onto why she's so alone. I never asked her, but I'm glad she thinks of me as close enough to explain it to me. Even though we just met. Alright, let me do one more configuration. Okay. Though, given that she seems so introverted, maybe I am the only person that is.
For a while, I was immobilized. As recently as last week.
Oh, I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for her now. Is that why she told me earlier that she needed to find what class she was in? Her face continues to grow deeper shades of red. Maybe I should converse with her to ease her explanation. Though with her personality, I don't know if it will actually help. I can understand, I guess. I'm new here, so I don't really have anyone to eat with. It's not really as relatable as an illness, though. I kind of regret opening my mouth. Hers, though, continues moving as her lips gently let out as unstable speech patterns.
I've been here since last year.
That's actually a pretty sad thought. If she's been here this long, how come she's this alone? Even with an illness, you'd expect her friends would still speak to her afterwards. Though I'm making assumptions, for I know she could be a good friend with a classmate that just doesn't eat in school or is absent. My gut feeling goes with my former conclusion in spite of that idea. She delicately twirls the hair at the tip of her braid nervously during the lag times of our conversation. I can't really think of anything to say, so I decide to do something instead. It's bold, but I tear a sheet of paper from one of my books and scribble my phone number on it. If you ever need anyone to keep you company, then you can call me anytime, or if you see me around school, just say hi. I doubt she'll do either anyway. To downplay the forwardness of my actions, I think of the cheesiest quote I can and continue speaking. Birds of a feather flock together.
You're giving me your number?
That's what you got. That's what you call taking the initiative. Though her voice is quiet, I can still sense she's a bit shaken up. I thought giving it to her would be acceptable in this day and age. People are practically dependent on their phones now. Still, giving your number to someone of the opposite sex will probably remain direct for years to come.
Thank you.
Oh, I think she'll like Seika. For some reason, she thanks me. Her pale fingers reach out towards her bag, and she gently takes out a rather pink and cute looking phone. I didn't know anyone still used phone straps, but a daffodil charm swings in the air as she enters my number, her body shaking slightly all the while.
You're the first in the non-relative section.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Finishing her sentence with a smile, she gazes at me. I smile back, of course, which in itself it takes me a bit of courage, but her eyes quickly dart away to break our state of eye contact. She goes red again, and her mouth is slightly ajar, leaving her lips to glisten as the sunlight enters from the windows beside us. The chimes of the bell resonate throughout the room. I guess it's time to get prepared to go to class again. Carrie stands and shyly looks towards me as if she's expecting me to say something, which luckily for her I do. I enjoy speaking to her, even if she doesn't say very much. Like I said, feel free to contact me anytime, though right now I guess we should head back to class.
Okay.
She trots along by my side, slightly behind me, probably to keep her blushing face hidden, I guess. She seems to have a habit of going red. She's embarrassed and nervous. We part ways when I reach my classroom, with her giving me a highly audible farewell once we do. Oh, my voice. Sorry if I can't read properly, man. Voice is like hurting. My throat. The wooden chair behind my back is rigid and sticks into it, causing me slight discomfort. My eyes dart across the pages before me, looking for any information that could make my life easier. I hate homework. Words echo around the room as I speak solemnly to myself. I thought that it would be easier to just copy the answers straight from the textbook, but apparently they're not here. Okay, why would the answers be in the textbook unless you're in maths, you know what I mean? This heavy workload, however, does seem to compensate for the rather tranquil day at school. I did meet someone interesting though, with a blossom of rose on her cheeks, her silky golden hair, and her hushed voice. Carrie's presence would be minuscule to many, but I can't get her off my mind. Seika, dinner's almost ready. Calls from my mother reached my ear as I just about to give up on my homework. It's not due for another week anyway, so I closed the book and haphazardly tossed it back on the shelf. Come on, man, why you gotta make words so hard? The smell of cooking guides my way towards my door, but just as I am about to leave my room, something stops me. My cell phone chimes and vibrates slightly on my desk, leaving me to consider who might be calling. Oh, he remembers, if you ever need a number, if you ever need company, just ring me up. Yo. He's pretty much like that. That's right, I gave Carrie my number, didn't I? I wasn't really expecting her to call me, but I guess she was probably checking that I wasn't giving her a fake number as a joke. Seika, are you coming? I'll be down in a minute. Probably not a minute, but it shouldn't be that long. I might just tell Carrie to call me back, but the least I can do is answer the phone. I pick up the device from my desk and answer the call. Okay, she's heavy breathing. Sari breathes through the speaker, her nervousness all too apparent, even through a mobile call. Hello? Carrie?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? I wanted to see if you'd answer. Exactly what I was expecting. Carrie's voice seemed a lot clearer, and the nervousness I had once heard is pretty much gone. Is it because she isn't speaking to me in person? Of course I'd answer. I gave you my number, didn't I?
You did. Thank you.
Why is she saying thank you? You didn't think it was fake, did you? She did. She probably did. I teased her about it. To be honest, if you gave me her number, I would probably think it was fake too. That is, if she wasn't so timid anyway. If her personality was different, she would probably be pretty popular. Don't worry, I'm only teasing.
Oh.
Teasing a girl I just met seems pretty abnormal, but I can't deny her response as adorable. You seem fairly relaxed. I'll call her out on the contrast of her speech patterns. I already know the answer, but I just want to show her that she can speak to people clearly if she tries.
I find it easier speaking to people over the phone. I'm sorry if it seems rude.
Anyways guys, I'm gonna have to end it here. It's been quite a while, you know what I mean? It's been quite a while. Hope you enjoyed it, and remember, see you next time. Peace out, yo.